Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Gopti Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Raja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Raja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Raja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Raja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Jaya Radha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Once more, once more. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की मथुरा धाम की द्वारकापुरी धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की श्री मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की गंगामयी यमुनामयी की भक्ति देवी तुलसी देवी की समावेत भक्त वृंद की ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल डिवोटीज all glories to assemble devotees all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमा ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Neelachal Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannatayate Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Welcome all of you for the Srimad Bhagavatam class this morning, which is it 6.2.3? Is it? We are reading from the second chapter of the sixth canto, third verse. One last line we will read and then we'll go to the next verse. Yesterday we heard this class. So please repeat this. Shri Vishnu Duta Uchuhu Aho Kashtam Dharma Drisham Adharmas Prishate Sabham Yatra Dandyeshu Apapeshu Dando Yair Dhriyate Vritha. So now Vishnu Dutas are speaking here. Aho Kashtam Dharma Drisham Adharmahas Prishate Sabham. In this assembly, Adharma is being followed. How improper it is, they are saying. Why? Yatra adandyeshu apapeshu. One who is not fit for punishment, one who is innocent person, one who is sinless. Dhando yair dhriyate vritha. In vain, they are trying to punish a person who is not fit for punishment. They are saying. About whom are they talking? Ajamila. So naturally, Yamaduta is going to be shocked there to hear this, because they have the track record of the unlimited stock of sins that he had accumulated. But they are calling him as Apapeshu. And not only that, Adandeshu they are saying. So Yamaduta thought, what do these fellows know about the Danda? We know what is Danda. Because in Yamaloka we keep watching always how the different living entities are punished in 28 types of hells. And these people are saying, he is neither sinful nor punishable. How is that? Even when I first read this verse, I was also very surprised. How are they calling Ajamila sinless? He has done such a big truckload of sins. So one thing that Vishnu Dutas will introduce, one aspect of dharma which was unknown to our Yamadutas, is that if somebody has committed an unlimited stock of sins, but at one point of time there was a turning point in his life. He turned towards the Supreme Lord and he became repentant. And he wept hot tears of repentance for all the stock of sins. Like one boy, one first year boy, when he came for the Spurti camp, he wanted to speak to me personally. But he couldn't speak, only he came and cried and cried and cried continuously. I asked, why are you crying? Please tell me. So his problem was he had eaten a lot of goats and chicken and everything before. So he was saying he saw the Mrigari drama. So not only Mrigari had a heart transformation, even this boy had a heart transformation. And the drama had a big impact on him. I couldn't understand why. Maybe I thought in camp some mismanagement I thought. So he was wondering how to take out all the chicken, mutton from his belly out. I said, it's already gone out. Don't worry. Then I gave him one convincing point, which pacified him. I said, 7 years if you eat prasad, your whole body will become prasadam body. Because scientists say every 7 years, all the cells are completely replaced. So then he said, now I'm just beginning now. So next 7 years I can count so that there is no more part of the animal meat or chicken in my body. And then he was asking how to get rid of those sinful reactions. Will I go to Yamaloka and be punished there? Initially he wanted to be saved from punishment. But later when he came to Utkarsh camp, an Hare camp, he said, now I don't want to escape from punishment. Let me be punished, he said. I'm ready to accept the punishment because I have done such horrible activities. I said, because you are willing to accept punishment, Lord will not give you punishment. There's no need for you to be punished. You are repentant, you are remorseful, willing to accept the punishment. And you are considering that, why did I do this? I should not have done it. I am so horrible. I deserve solid beating for all these nonsensical activities that I am doing, that I have been doing. So this is actually what touches Krishna's heart. When he says, apiche sudara charu bhajate maam ananya bhak sadure vasamantavyaha samyak pavasito hisah kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat chantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanehi name bhakta pranashyati. You see, what if a person has become a devotee and still he is indulging in sinful activities secretly, and he is thinking that I am chanting the holy name anyway. Vishnuduta said, Adharmahas prashite sabam yatra adandyeshu apapeshu dando yair dhriyate vrita. Because Ajamila chanted one name, I am chanting 16 rounds. Quite a bit I am chanting. So with one name he could wipe out so many stock of sins. And I am not doing as much as him. I only occasionally do little sins. One things like that. That comes under which offense? Seventh offense. Namno bala deske papa buddhi. Actually, therefore one has to study the purpose of Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, Ajamila chanted offenselessly, he says. Because Ajamila had no plan to call out the name of the Supreme Lord at the time of death. He had no plan to use the holy name to escape sinful reactions. He had no plan at all. Therefore, it is inoffensive. And when he called Narayana, he didn't intend to call the Supreme Lord. It's clearly said in Bhagavatam, Vriyamana Harer Nama Grinan Putra Upacharitam Ajamilo Pyagadhama Kimbuta Shraddaya Grinan. That verse says that Grinan Putra Upacharitam. He only did Sambodhan to his son. So he addressed his son. He had no intention to escape the sinful reactions. And he called helplessly, desperately, loudly. He called. And because of all these things, the holy name turned out to be inoffensive. And that inoffensive holy name means Namabhas. What is the difference between Aparadhanam, Namabhas? Aparadhanam is like a dense, dark, black cloud in the sky. You can't see the sun at all. Namabhas means a silvery cloud. Shuddhanam means no cloud and only sun. So, Ajamila called in Namabhas. So, Namabhas is a clearing stage. First offensive stage, Aparadhanam is stagnant stage. So, when we do the Aparadhanam, not even we go slowly, we just get stagnated in spiritual life. So therefore, at least one should adopt the mood of the second verse of Shikshashtakam. Durdaivam idrisham ihadininanuragaha. Then one can rise to Namabhas. One can aspire for Namabhas. So, because he helplessly, innocently, Nishkapat, we say Nishkapat bhavana, say Nissahaya bhavana, say Niraparad bhavana. 3 things are said. in the Bhagavatam. You will always see this word, avashena will be used. Avashena piyannamni kirtite sarva padakaihi tatasadyo vimuccheta simhat rashtair mrigairiva. That verse says, when one helplessly calls the holy name, that garjana of the holy name is like the roaring of a lion in the jungle, which drives away all the smaller animals in all directions. Like in switch on a tube light, the darkness is dispelled. Like that, when the holy name is helplessly chanted, avashena pi. There's another word also which uses the word avashena. Patitas kalito bhagra sandashtastapta ahata harihi iti avashenaha pumanarhati yatanaha. Somebody is walking on the road, they slipped and fell down and, they got their head hit and they died. Or somebody fell from a rooftop which had no parapet wall. Or somebody died due to maranajwaram. Or somebody died due to old age, stumbling in the bathroom, they fell and died or something. So whatever it be, he says, while they are about to die, they said, Hari! Like that they said. He says, they will not go to hell, he says. And they helplessly, avashena, he said, Harihi iti avashena api puman narhati yatana. Like that he says. So one should chant helplessly, desperately, inoffensively, innocently. So that was the quality of chanting of Ajamila, due to which they are saying, Yatra adandyeshu apapyeshu is exactly like the crying of a child for the mother. When the child is in great danger, the child is running towards the mother. The child has no other shelter. So, recently I was reading this Kulashekara's Ananyagatitvam principle. There are 4-5 very vital aspects of Ananyagatitvam, he says. He says, the devotee thinks that I am a property of Krishna. I belong to Krishna. And I am not owned by anybody else. I am, my body, my mind, my words, everything is meant for Krishna. You are putting the tilak in the morning, you think this body belongs to Krishna. Therefore Krishna's lotus feet is here, along with Tulsi. Yeah. You wear a kantimala, you look at the kantimala, you think I'll be like a chaste wife of Krishna. I will not use this body for breaking any of the 4 regulative principles. That's like a lady wearing Mangal Sutra. She knows her connection to husband. Similarly, a lady putting the kumkum on the forehead, she knows. Actually, her connection with any other man is only through her husband. If husband brings some 4 colleagues from the office and says, give them some nice snacks, she will make and give. No man can call her and tell, make some snack for me. She has no relation with anybody else. These days, Sarvam Prabhu told a very beautiful example. He said, when a girl is like 8 or 9 or 10, little girl, in the Vedic times also, little girl, she will be playing along with other boys also, many times. Sometimes a boy will take her to marketplace to purchase something in a scooter. She may go, she may play, she may laugh, she may joke, she may have dozens of girls and boys who are her friends when she's like 9, 10, 11, 12. But when she becomes, when she attains puberty, grown up, at that time she starts understanding difference between a male and female. And she becomes a little shy and reserved. And then she's married to a man. The parents get her married to a man. After that, for her, husband becomes like God. She will not look at any man with any other attitude, wrong attitude. So Srimad Prabhu was telling, previously we were also like that. He said, we were demigod worshippers. We were connecting with any god. He said, like that little girl. But once he got Krishna who is Satvatampati, a husband of the devotees. So when he got Krishna, after that we would never look at demigods at all. And even if you go to demigods, what we will say? That's like, Namasye Twambike Abhikshnam Swasantanam Shivam Yutam. She's telling, Namasye Twa Ambike Abhikshnam. I am offering you obeisances to you, Ambika. She's telling, you are sitting with your husband Shiva, and Swasantanam means your Kartikeya and Ganesha are sitting on your laps. I am coming to your temple, but why am I coming? She's saying, Bhuyat patirme Bhagavan Krishnasya anumodatam. She's telling, Bhuyat patirme Bhagavan. May Krishna become my husband. Anumodatam, please give me a favorable blessing for me to achieve that. So even if you go to your demigod also, Katyayani Vrata is starting yesterday or today? Today, huh? Correct, no? That was what gopis also prayed. May Krishna become my husband. Even if Mataji is talking to some man, she will ask, where is my husband? Did you see him? He told me to stand opposite to the company. I'm standing in the, I'm waiting for a long time. Did you see? Please tell him. Otherwise, she has no connection with any other man, independent of the husband. So that in the same manner, he says, Ananya Gatitva means, Krishna is my Swami. He is my master. I am his property. I will not allow my body or my senses to be used for anything else. That's how we will come to this platform of Rishikesha, Sevanam, Bhakti Ruchite. Like iron rod put in fire will become purer and purer and purer. We should actually lament if our senses, even by mistake, contemplate on something which is not Krishna conscious. Even in contemplation platform, one should lament. What to speak of Kaya, then after that, Kaya and Vacha also. Therefore it is said, Yadavadi mama cheta Krishna padara binde navanavarasadamanudyatarantumasi tadavati batanari sangame smaryamane bhavati mukhavikara shushtu nishtivanamcha. He says, if Nari Sangame smaryamane, if such a thought also comes about Nari Sangam, he says, my lips curl in distaste and I spit at the thought of it. Which means anybody who is becoming Krishna conscious, that person should be different from the conditioned souls in one respect. I will tell you what. Conditioned souls delight in sense gratification. Your devotee should feel disgusted with sense gratification. I am unable to give up sense gratification, so we should be disgusted with it. And when we become advanced in devotional service, we will be neither delighted nor disgusted. We will be indifferent to sense gratification. It will make no sense to us. It will look like we will not feel any connection to sense gratification because we are fully absorbed in Krishna service. We have neither raga nor dvesha to that in more advanced stages. So, if we innocently and inoffensively chant the holy name, then we can become adandyeshu apapeshu. Therefore, Krishna says, Saudureva samantavya, means he is apapeshu. Actually, a devotee who is sincerely repenting, remorseful, and he doesn't commit the mistake again, and it happened accidentally, it happened unknowingly, accidentally. He was momentarily carried away by illusion for a moment, and he is very remorseful, then he is apapeshu, because right now he has come to the right path. So, but one cannot claim oneself to be a devotee and just keep indulging in simple activities, thinking that I am already in Krishna's movement, surrounded by devotees, and anyway, holy name will take care, Krishna will take care. No. If you take Krishna for granted, then in the long run, two things are very great enemies to practicing sadhakas. One is, hard-heartedness and offensive mentality, leading to the first offense. And another one is another type of hard-heartedness, leading to material attachment, which is 10th offense. Actually, both require a hard heart. Because you will see, Dhritarashtra was so hard-hearted, he wanted to kill Bhima by embracing him. He had such a hard heart. So because he was attached to Duryodhana, his heart became very hard. Kaikeyi also became so hard-hearted because of her attachment to Bharata. And despite her husband dying and everybody weeping, whole Ayodhya completely sunken in sorrow, still she wanted Ram to go to forest. So the attachments make our heart hard. Similarly, Suruchi also became hard-hearted in treating with Dhruva. On the other hand, you will find those who are offensive also become very hard-hearted. You will see, like Ramachandra Puri was very hard-hearted with offensive mentality. And that hard-heartedness leads to hatred. So both this hard-heartedness has to be given up, because for Krishna consciousness we need a soft heart. So to give up the offensive attitude, we have to be forgiving. We have to be tolerant, patient, forgiving. Similarly, to give up the material attachment, which leads to 10th offense, we should give up duplicity. Duplicity, Actually, opposite of duplicity is simplicity. Yeah. And cunning behavior, duplicitous behavior, cheating behavior, hypocritical behavior. Those things has to be given up. One has to adopt the path of simplicity and straightforward speech, utterly simple in dealings and speech and everything. So, and also one should intensify one's worship of Krishna to dissolve the material leanings. So, then one can become apapeshu. Yatra adandyeshu apapeshu dando yair dhriyate vritha. So they are giving danda, he said. Now they're continuing that in the today's verse now. Prajanam pitaro yecha shastara sadava samaha yadi syatteshu vaishamyam kamyanti sharanam prajaha. Prajanam pitaro yecha shastara sadava samaha yadi syatteshu vaishamyam kamyanti sharanam prajaha. Two Prabhujis, two Matajis can recite. Prajanam pitaro yecha shastara sadava samaha yadi syatteshu vaishamyam kamyanti sharanam prajaha. Prajanam pitaro yecha shastara sadhava samaha yadi syatteshu vaishamyam kamyanti sharanam prajaha. Matajis. Prajanam pitaro yecha shastara sadhava samaha yadi syatteshu vaishamyam kamyanti sharanam prajaha. Prajanam, of the citizens, Pidaraha, protectors, guardians, kings or government servants, Ye, they who, Cha, and Shastaraha, give instructions concerning law and order, Sadavaha, endowed with all good qualities, Samaha, equal to everyone, Yadi, if, Syat, there is, Teshu, among them, Vaishamyam, partiality, Kam, what, Yanti, will go to, Sharanam, shelter, Prajaha, the citizens. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada ki. The king or government official should be so well qualified that he acts as a father, maintainer, and protector of the citizens because of affection and love. He should give the citizens good advice and instructions according to the standard scriptures and should be equal to everyone. Yamaraj does this for he is a supreme master of justice, and so do those who follow in his footsteps. However, if such persons become polluted and exhibit partiality by punishing an innocent, blameless person, where will the citizens go to take shelter for their maintenance and security? Purport. The king, or in modern times, the government, should act as the guardian of the citizens by teaching them proper goal of life. The human form of life is especially meant for realization of oneself and one's relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because this cannot be realized in animal life. So Prabhupada is saying here that the goal of life is to know who I am and who God is and my relationship with Him. The duty of the government, therefore, is to take charge of training all the citizens in such a way that by a gradual process, they'll be elevated to the spiritual platform and will realize the self and his relationship with God. See, again, second time he's stressing this point. So therefore, I was telling about the Ananyagaditvam. One point only I told you, that we should think I belong to Krishna. My body, mind, words are owned by Krishna. So I should use my senses in Krishna's service. Rishika and Rishikesh Sevana. Another aspect he says is Krishna is easily approachable. Krishna is easily accessible. He says, Vijayabhas is always thought, you just call Krishna's name, he is there in front of you. Immediately. Yadus also felt that in Dwaraka. They are saying, Tripishtapanam Papidura Darshamam. Even for the demigods, Lord is not easily accessible or approachable. He is lying in the milk ocean. And they have to go in the bank of the milk ocean and far away they will see him. Whereas we Dwarkavasis are seeing you so close, they are saying. In such a vicinity we are seeing you. Same thing Vijayabhas also felt. Krishna is not only accessible, he is also approachable. See, what is the difference between accessible and approachable? Sometimes you may see a very senior personality like spiritual master or sannyasi. They are accessible, you can see them moving, but you can't approach them. Right now, you can't say, hey, room is open, just go inside. You can't go inside. They are accessible, they come and go, but you can't meet them. But Krishna is accessible and approachable also. Immediately you can approach him also. That's another. And also, Ananyagaditvam principle, he says, means not only Lord is so friendly that he is approachable, but he is always filled with compassion for his devotees. And he always makes plans to show his kindness and compassion to us as devotees. And his compassion can be seen at every moment in my life. When I taste the different type of juices, when I eat the different type of grains or cereals or spices, when you find prasadam very tasty, immediately you should remember how wonderful Krishna is. Simply by his glance of sun and moon eyes, he has made the nature so attractive that he is giving me such a wonderful prasad. So, beginning with prasad, we can easily recognize that. And then one can also see how he is supporting us at every level. Physically, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, in all respects. So, when one is observing this, that leads to Ananyagaditvam also. Because for the child, mother is the person who gives the child breast milk. And the child doesn't know anybody other than the mother. Therefore, whenever the child is in danger, the child rushes to whom? Mother. So, Ananyagaditvam means when a devotee cannot think of anybody. In Vrindavan, you will see, you will never hear one pastime where a coward boy took a weapon to attack a demon. Not even one pastime. You will not find in all the 21 demons. You read it? They will only recite some beautiful prayer. Krishna, Krishna, Mahabhaga, something like that. Krishna, Krishna, Mahabhaga, Tvannatam Gokulam Prabhu, Dhatumarghasi Devana Kupita Bhakta Vatsalaha. So it is not a simple pastime that, they pray to Krishna that you protect us, save us, we are afraid of. They are neither afraid of the fire, that the fire may burn their body, nor are they afraid of death, impending death that is approaching them. They are only afraid of one thing. Who will take care of Krishna? If I die, who will take care of Krishna? Another worry the coward boys have is, if I die, I will be separated from Krishna. I don't know where I will be taken and I can't afford to miss him, miss his company even for a moment. So I don't want to die because I don't want to miss his company. And this is the mood of a devotee. Naham mande tava charana yordvan dvamadvanta hetu kumbi pakam gurum api hare narakam napanetum ramya rama mrudutanu lata nandane napirantum bhave bhave hridaya bhavane bhavaye yam bhavantam mukunda murdna pranipattaya che bhavantame kantam yantamartam avismiti tvacharana rabinde bhave bhave mestu bhavat prasada. So in these two verses, Kulashekara is saying, my dear Lord, I am not praying to you so that I will be saved from Kumbhipaka hell. Nor am I praying to you so that I can go to Indraloka where I can meet beautiful apsaras like Ramba, Urvashi, Menaka and such apsaras. Neither am I looking for sense gratification, nor am I afraid of the hellish punishments. I am only praying to you so that birth after birth I will never forget you. I will never miss you. I will always be serving you. That is his prayer. And therefore I am bowing down my head to you. He's saying, Mukunda Murdana Pranipatya Yache. Yache means to beg. What am I begging? Avantam ekantam yantamartam. I am asking only one thing. Avismriti Tacharanaravinde. Not non-forgetfulness to your lotus feet is the only aspiration I have, he says. So, the coward boys thought that Krishna is accessible, Krishna is approachable, Krishna is very compassionate, and Krishna is very loving, and Krishna will not want to miss us. He values us. He wants us and we want him. So this is one aspect of Ananyagatitam, that we are confident of Lord's compassion for us. We are confident of Lord's protection. We are confident of Lord's maintenance towards us, without even our asking. Like that song we sing, Ekono bujinu Prabhu tomara charana ashoka bhayamrita purna sarvakhana sakala chadiya tuva charana kamale pudiyati aminatha tava padatale tava pada padmanatha rakhibe amare hararaka karta nahi ye bhava samsare. So he's saying, and then he also says, Amara Palana Bara, Ekona Tomara. Palana Bara means you are our maintainer, you are our protector, you are our friend, you are compassionate to us. So these kind of feelings are dominating the heart of a pure devotee who is taking shelter in Krishna. And also, Ananyagaditva means I will go only to Krishna. If Krishna cannot do anything for me, it's all right. But I am fully confident that he will be able to do everything. There's nothing that he cannot do. And I will not go to anyone else. Same thing Gajendra also did. When Gajendra looked up at the sky, many demigods were hovering, asking Gajendra, if you wish, we can help you be saved from the crocodile. But Gajendra did not call any of them. And they felt offended also. They told Gajendra, see, you are calling for the Supreme Person who is far away. He is not going to come very quickly. Many devotees have experienced. They are chanting Hare Krishna, they don't get Krishna very easily. It takes time. Sometimes it may take lifetimes also. Don't waste your time calling him. We are right here. But Gajendra said, sorry, no thanks. He told them, I will only call the Supreme Lord. Ekantino yasya kanchanartam vanchanti evai bhagavat prapannaha adhyadbhutam tacharitam sumangalam gayanta ananda samudramagna. So he is telling this verse, Ekantino yasya, those who are one-pointed, fixed up, pure devotees, na kanchanartam vanchanti, they will never desire anything else. Why? Bhagavat prapanna. They are surrendered to the Supreme Lord. And what do they get by surrendering to him? Ati adbhutam, tacharitam, sumangalam. They get to hear the Krishna Katha, which is adbhutam and mangalam. It's very auspicious and at the same time, it is wonderful. It puts the devotees to wonderment. Krishna's activities are capable of producing vismaya, astonishment or wonderment, very nectarian pastimes. Gayanta ananda samudra magna. Devotees completely dive in a jolly way, like you see a dolphin is jumping in the ocean, like that. So in this way, he waited for the Lord to come. And Lord, that is why, see, because he had this realization, he changed his prayer. In the beginning, he told the Lord, please save me from the elephant. Earlier he prayed like that. And then subsequently, hey, somebody can escort them, he can show them. Prabhu can take them around. You can just, one of you can talk to them. Hare Krishna. You can just attend to them. Yeah. So, yeah, because of that one pointed prayer, when Lord came, how did his quality of prayer change? He said, Jiji vishe nahamikamuyakyam antarbahischa avratayo bayonya ichchami kalena nayasya viplavastasya atmaloka varanasya moksham. So he's telling, ichchami, I don't desire, ichchami na, he's saying, ichchami kalena nayasya viplava. I don't want that material body which will be destroyed by time. No? But I want a body which will not be destroyed by time. What is that body? Spiritual body. He's saying like that. You take away this elephant body. Give me a Vishnuduta body. So where I can approach you, I can see you, serve you, love you. Like that he's praying. So that's what Prabhupada is saying here. The duty of the government, therefore, is to take charge of the training all the citizens in such a way that by a gradual process they will be elevated to a spiritual platform and will realize self and his relationship with God. This principle was followed by kings like Maharaj Yudhishthir, Maharaj Parikshit, Lord Ramachandra, Maharaj Ambarisha, and Prahlad Maharaj. 5 examples Prabhupada gives. So see, I'll just show you this section. Qualities of King Yudhishthir being ideal king. You're able to see now? Okay. We'll not recite the verses, it will take time, but I will show you some highlighted portion. How Yudhishthira Maharaj fulfilled this towards his citizens. So Shanak Muni is asking, after Yudhishthira Maharaj came to the post as the king of the world, he had just now finished the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra. He might be feeling a little bad about that. He may have restricted consciousness. How did he rule the world? He's asking. It's a very loaded question, because generally after a person occupied the post, did he remain as religious as before? Or did he become diverted from religious principles? Because in this world it is said, if you want to know the character of a man, give him a post, it is said. After you give a post and a position and give him facilities, amenities, privileges, how he deals with them, that is a proof of his character. Because most people will fumble. You will see that many kings became victim of drinking and smoking and women, and they became degraded and polluted, and then they will be brushed aside and somebody else will come. You will see that. So they are asking. So here you will see each purport is the gem of a purport. Prabhupada says, the wrath of people who want to lord it over material nature is the cause of war. Prabhupada says, wrath means anger. Actually, when one comes to post, one wants to dominate other living beings. They want to increase the neighborhood kingdoms as his own kingdom. So it is said, no. Nirjitya dikchakrama abhuta vigraho varasanastam samaraja banditaha. It is said that a person wants to, dikchakram means there are 8 directions. One wants to conquer all the kings in 8 directions. Dominate other kings. Like for example, now currently there's a war going on between Russia and Ukraine. It is exactly not between Russia and Ukraine. Maybe you are aware of the reason. Many countries joined with that NATO, correct, no? NATO. So now Ukraine also considered joining. But who became insecure? Russia felt they are our neighbor. If they join that, because the NATO group, they have decided that they will not make any decision independently. They will make only jointly. Then that makes them collectively very powerful. And supported by US, they become very powerful. So then Russia became immediately antagonized on. They are thinking that we will not let these people connect. So it's a power game. It's a power politics. Basically, Russia is thinking, Who can show teeth? We can show our teeth and US can show your teeth. Correct? No? This kind of mentality will come everywhere. Between man and man, country and country, and also between one group and another group. These things can happen in the world. That's what Prabhupada is saying. The wrath of people who want to lord it over material nature, that is a cause of war. Ultimately, the whole earth belongs to the Supreme Lord. And all jivas are his children. They deserve to stay here and get purified and go back to Godhead. Like Prabhupada says, they have to learn who am I, who is Lord, and what is my relationship with Him. That's the main goal for which this world was created. But living entities are trying to conduct a war. Recently, I got to see how in Boston they are making robots which are going to replace the soldiers in the battle. Because these robots will be operated from the control room. They look like soldiers because all the bodily movements they have planted in the robo. Like, this movement, this movement, this movement, this hip movement, leg movement. So it also can have sensors by which it can sense if there is objects like this, it can walk over those objects also. Flat object. It can jump also from one platform to another platform. Everything is they have this object identifying machines inbuilt in them. So they say there are many advantages in this robo. What is it? It can walk on fire. It can walk in the forest. It need not worry about tigers and lions. It can go through forest also. And it can jump. It can contract itself and rotate. Many things it can do. There are advantages. But there are also disadvantages, they're saying. Because the enemy, if they, what do you call it? Not hijack, what do you call that? Cyber, hacking. If they hack it, then the robo will go under whose control? Enemy's control. And it will attack the person who has sent it. So, in this way, many countries are trying to come up with better and better technologies. A war. You will be frightened because they are hitting the robo with heavy weapons, and the robo immediately turns by and shoots the people who are hitting. It's not like ordinary soldier. Soldier can be knocked down in one blow, but robo cannot be knocked. It's a machine now, actually. But the problem is, machine is the hand of a monkey. Monkey-minded people. So, the future is very dangerous. You can see that. So therefore, you can see the anger of the people who want to lord over the material nature is the cause of the war. Instead of directly shooting them, use a robot to shoot. That's the difference. Mentality is same. But Lord wants to maintain the creation for helping jivas attain self-realization to go back to Godhead. That's the main point in this purport here. Prabhupada says here. And then Prabhupada says, only the perfect and infallible can create a program which is applicable at every place and can be followed by all people in the world. And who are the perfect and infallible? Bhishma Pitamaha and Lord Sri Krishna. They were the guides to whom? Yudhishthira Maharaj. Like Bhishma Pitamaha was lying in the arrow bed, Krishna wanted Pandavas to go to him. And he thought, before this grandsire passes away, there should be a Keti. For whom? Yudhishthira Maharaj, because he is going to be the next king. So the valuable Kshatriya knowledge that he is possessing, Bhishma is possessing, should be transferred to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And Krishna is a spiritual guide for Yudhishthira. So Krishna arranged that. That's what Prabhupada is saying here. How, how Maharaj Yudhishthira ruled. He was the ideal king or representative of Lord Krishna to rule the kingdom of the earth and was comparable to King Indra. The demigods like Indra, Chandra, Surya, Varuna, Vayu are all representative kings of different planets of the universe. And similarly, Maharaj Yudhishthira was also one of them, ruling over the kingdom of earth. He was not an unenlightened political leader like modern times, Prabhupada says. He was fully enlightened by Bhishma and Krishna. And he was not just like a puppet sitting in the top with no power or no control. He actually was ruling the whole earth with many smaller kings, all coming under one state. The entire world was one state. But although he was king of the whole world, he was not independent because he followed the instructions of the infallible Lord and the Lord's representatives, an authorized agent like Bhishma Deva. So he was one of the 12 Mahajans, Bhishma. So he followed Krishna and Bhishma. That's how he was successful in everything. As the Prabhupada says. And then he says how his kingdom was. He says that the whole economic development is based on land and cows. Cow is the mother and bull is the father. So, and Prabhupada is giving a list, if you see, food grains, fruits, milk, minerals, clothing, wood. All these things are available. And here one very important point Prabhupada makes here, you see. Rainfalls are not in the control of human being. It is arranged by the Lord. When people act according to God's laws, then there will be a rain shower. Everything, grains, vegetables, everything will come. This is a beautiful question Prabhupada asked, if you see here. If there is enough milk, grain, fruit, cotton, silk, and enough jewels, why do people need economic development in the shape of tools and machines? And why do they have to kill animals in slaughterhouses? Either he is asking. When there is enough ghee, grain, milk, fruits, is it not sufficient? Why does man require luxurious life of cinemas, cars, radio, flush, hotels? It's a very, very famous purport it is. So, you will see, Yudhishthira Maharaj's rule is very beautifully explained. Here comes one important point. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that Lord himself is a seed-giving father and material nature is the mother of all living beings. 14.4. Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtayas sambhavanti yaha tasam brahma mahatyunir aham bija pradah pita. Used to treat everybody as praja. Prabhupada is asking, if a cow or a dog is born in this country, is he not a praja? Prajayate means he is born in the same country. So you say this is your motherland. For them, is it not motherland? For them also motherland. They are also citizens. The citizens have to be respected. Just because, say, one of your brother has a polio attack or something, you can't kill him. Because he is weak-bodied. Similarly, the cows and innocent creatures cannot be killed. So the Yudhishthira Maharaj had good sense that every jiva should be protected and provided with food and maintenance and everything. And Prabhupada is talking about the defects of modern civilization. And what is the secret of success? He says here that even the rivers, oceans, hills, mountains, forests, creepers, all of them paid their tax to the king, he says. How can nature pay tax to the king? See, if a king is an obedient servant of God, then nature will provide everything abundantly. If king is not taking shelter of the Supreme Lord, then the nature will be drying up. And therefore here he says here, the secret of success is to take refuge under the protection of Supreme Lord. Without Krishna's sanction, nothing can be possible. To make an economic development by our own endeavors with tools and machinery is not all, he says. You can see one website, storyofthestuff.com. Story of the stuff. You can see, they will show you in that a video, story of the stuff. In that story of the stuff, they are showing how the televisions are advertising useless consumer products, which are swallowing your money, which are good for nothing, not healthy for you. But for them to advertise, the shopping malls are stocking those. Many of the shopping malls are stocking many of those consumables and goods and everything, from potato to gold, everything they sell. Huge shopping malls, they display and everything. And for the shopping malls to get those things, there are big industries which are producing those things. Commercialized industries who want to make money out of the masses. So he says that in that video they are showing how these are all connected. All these things are connected, and the victim is the public. They become the victim. Whereas in Maharaj Yudhishthira's time, rivers, oceans, forests, hill, drugs, they were all producing abundant prosperity. And because the king was an obedient king, obedient to the laws of God. That's the point. Unless one is pious and recognized by the Lord, one cannot keep others happy who are under his care. Very deep sentence, each of them. That means king should be pious, means you should do dharmartha kama moksha. Like for example, administering yajnas and bringing benefit, samriddhi, prosperity for the people in general. But advanced kings like Yudhishthira Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj, they arranged for yajna to be done by the Brahmanas, but they were performing pure devotional service. In Ambarish Maharaj, you will read in one purport, Ambarish Maharaj was arranging Brahmanas to perform very big sacrifices for the welfare of the society. But he himself went to the temple to do Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindyo, all those things. Bhajana, Sams Vaikunta Gunan Varanane, Karau Harer Mandira Maharaj, all that he was doing. But in that way, the kings the king should be completely selfless. He is not here for enjoying, he is here for service. He considers the post as an opportunity for serving. And the Lord, serving his Lord's representatives, making the children of God happy. So he is therefore he is Ajata Shatru. Krishna Maharaj. He is saying that people are free from anxiety, diseases, excessive heat and cold also, because nature also cooperated. He is saying. So this was about Yudhishthira Maharaj. Similarly, I made notes on Ambarish also. Ambarish Maharaj also, if you see qualities of Ambarish Maharaj, I will show you some prominent ones. See, please repeat this. Shri Shakavacha Ambarisho Mahabhaga Saptad Dipavatim Mahim Avyayam Chashriyam Labdva Vibhavam Chatulam Bhuvi Mene Atidurlabham Pumsam Sarvam Tat Swapna Samstutam Vidwan Vibhava Nirvanam Tamo Vishadiyat Puman. See, Ambarish Maharaj was ruling the whole world with 7 continents. He is saying, even after achieving imperishable opulences, what was his thought process? That is explained here. He says, Mene Atidurlabham Pumsam Sarvam Tat Swapna Samstutam. He thought these are all just like a dream only. He thought. Why? These are called here today, gone tomorrow. Pleasures. In this life, I am given these things. Next life, I may not have them. What is our life? 70, 80 years. It's like a tiny flash in the time span of eternity. So he was not attached to them. Vidwan, Vibhava Nirvanam, Tamo Vishati Yatpuma. He understood if somebody becomes attached to these things, they are going to get stuck. They will enter the darkness. Like that he understood. See here it says, like that which is imagined in a dream, such opulence will ultimately be destroyed. The king knew that any non-devotee who attains such opulences merges increasingly into material nature of tamoguna. He thought like that. Vasudeve Bhagavati Tad Bhakteshu Cha Sadhushu Prapto Bhavam Param Vishwam Yenedam Loshtravat Smritam. See, the king has said, Maharaj Ambarish was a great devotee of the Supreme Lord, Vasudeva. And of the saintly persons who are Lord's devotees. That means he's a devotee of devotee also. He's a devotee of devotees, he's a devotee of Krishna. Because of this type of devotion, he thought the entire universe is like insignificant as a piece of stone. We'll recite together, all of you, okay? Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor vachamsi vaikunta gunan varnane karau harer mandira marjanadishu shrutim chakara achyuta satkato daye Mukunda Lingalaya Darshane Drishau Tadbritya Gatra Sparshenga Sangamam Granam Chatatpada Saroja Saurabhe Srimad Tulasya Rasanam Tadarpite Padau Hare Kshetra Padanu Sarpane Shiro Rishikesha Padavi Vandane Kamam Chadasyena Tu Kama Kamyaya Yadottama Shloka Janashrayaratihi. So Ambarish Maharaj used all his senses in Lord's service, which you know, you heard about it many times. And by doing this, what he did, Kamam Chadasya, he subdued his desires. Natu Kama Kamyaya. He didn't become a slave of his desires. He was not a Godas. He became Goswami. In this way, Ambarish Maharaj made great progress like that. So he engaged all his senses devotion. See, in this way, to increase attachment for the Lord and be completely free from all material desires. So Krishna says in Gita, in 7.1, how to be attached to Him. And for that purpose, we need devotees' guidance. Think about your own life, our own lives. When we came, prior to coming to ISKCON, we didn't know how to engage our mind and senses in Lord's service. That is done in Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and taught in Guru Parampara. So the moment you engage your mind and senses sincerely in devotional service, they become calm, cool, collected, focused, concentrated. and they don't give the same troubles what they were giving when one is indulging them in sense gratification. Because connecting the senses to sense gratification burns one's mind and senses. Burning means it increases the hankering, and it also frustrates a person because of dissatisfaction. But engaging the same senses in Krishna's service calms the senses and cools down the senses, and one is transported to a spiritual plane where one forgets all the material upadhis, like the gross and subtle body will dissolve. Just like the wood, if you see, it has fire inside, but you can't see it. But if you lit up with a spark, when the fire comes, the wood is only burned away. Similarly, when the super soul is awakened in our heart, he will burn down the gross and subtle coverings. Dahatya viryam kridayam jiva kosham, he says. The coverings over the soul will be removed, and then the soul will become Muktatma, liberated, Jivan Mukta. He can go back to Godhead. So, that training we have to get in Guru Parampara from spiritual master. And then therefore he says, first business of a devotee is to accept the bona fide Guru, who can train him to engage his various senses in entering devotional service. See, in performing his prescribed duties as a king, what Maharaj Ambarish did? He offered the results of his royal activities to the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is the enjoyer of everything. You know that 5.29, Bhoktaramike Tapasam. He certainly took advice from Brahmanas, who were faithful devotees of the Lord, and thus he ruled the planet Earth without difficulty. So Prabhupada is saying that Krishna is the enjoyer of political, social, cultural, religious, economic, all activities. Political means if you are holding a post, then you should conduct that post by studying scriptures, by taking advice from saintly people. And social means when people have social functions, nowadays people have this DJ, and they put very loud, and they're doing disco dance, they're doing social functions. Instead, actually, in all the social functions, the Lord should be the center. Like Ram Navami, they are celebrating with DJ, boys and girls coming and dancing. Is it the way you celebrate Ram Navami? Lord Rama was exhibiting example of a high character. And these fellows, in the name of Rama, they're doing these things. So, therefore, social functions means like you're celebrating Janmashtami, Ram Navami. Like we have nowadays Janmashtami in schools, you know that? A couple of hours program we do. We make the children chant the holy name. Like Damodar month, many schools, they offer the lambs also to the Lord. So Lord should be the center, because that is the time at least the children get a chance to uplift their consciousness. So social and cultural, whether it is Bharatanatyam or painting or singing, or religious activities. Religion is not for quarreling with other religions. Religious activities means rituals should be done to come closer to the Lord. And economic, all the money is Lakshmi belongs to Supreme Lord. In this way, Ambarish Maharaj connected everything to Supreme Lord. So Lord has given perfect advice in Gita, and Ambarish Maharaj as the ideal executive head ruled the entire world as a Vaishnava, taking advice from Vaishnava Brahmanas. Tan nishta viprabhi hitaha. He took advice from the pure devotees of the Lord, he is saying, not just scholars. He didn't have scholarly advice, he had pure devotees' advice. They were all, Prabhupada says that here, they should be devotees themselves. Because only then all the good qualities will be produced, as Shastri Bhaktari says. See, citizens under the guidance of a Krishna conscious king will become devotees, and then there will be no need to enact new laws every day to reform the way of life in the state. If the citizens are trained to become devotees, they will automatically become peaceful and honest. And if they are guided by a devoted king, advised by the devotees, the state will not be in material world but in spiritual world. All the states of the world should therefore follow the ideal Vishnu Maharaj Ambarish is saying. See, in those days, he performed Ashwamedha Yajnas for the welfare of the world, he says. And he also gave Dakshina to the Brahmanas. And Brahmanas such as Vasishta, Asita, Gautama, they were all present. But in Kali Yuga, Prabhupada says, what is a yajna which works the best in Kali Yuga? Sankirtan yajna. Yajnai sankirtana prayai ajanti sumedashaha. So here one point is Prabhupada is making here. The yajna is necessary for the state to perform, because by yajna the people in general will be fed sumptuously. The Brahmanas and yajnika priests should be sufficiently paid for their expert service. The payment is called dakshina. So the people in general get prasad. The brahmanas are given dakshina for expanding their brahminical activities. Ambarish, as the head of the state, performed all these yajnas through great personalities like Vasishta, Gautama, Asita, etc. The king or head of state must see that these things are all going on well under proper guidance. And he must be ideal devotee, he's saying. Yeah. And all the, Yeah, here you see what he says here. We can recite this. Swargo na prartito yasya manujair amara priyah shrinvadbir upagayadbir uttama shloka cheshtitam. The citizens of the state of Maharaj Ambarish were accustomed to chanting and hearing about the glorious activities of the personality of Godhead. Thus, they never aspired to be elevated to heavenly planets, which are extremely dear even to the demigods. Which means not only king, it's talking about whom? Citizens. Even they were pure devotees. He was a pure devotee, all citizens were pure devotees. They aspired only to go back to Godhead, not even to heaven. He's saying here, you see, I have put it in big letters. Because Maharaj Ambarish was the most exalted devotee of the Lord, he trained his subjects in such a way that citizens in his state were not interested in anything material, including even the happiness of the heavenly planets. Sambardhayanti yat kamaha swarajya paribhavitaha durlabhanapi siddhanam mukundam hridi pashyataha. Those who are saturated with the transcendental happiness of rendering service to the Supreme Lord are uninterested even in the achievements of great mystic powers. For such achievements do not enhance the transcendental bliss felt by a devotee who always thinks of Krishna within the core of his heart. That means the citizens were so advanced, they even rejected, mukti, siddhi, bhukti, all those things. They only wanted to become pure devotees. Actually, modern times, what is siddhi? The mobile is siddhi. You just move the hand this way, that way, and do so many things. Everywhere people are just moving the hands. Like, you want to get a cold drink bottle, you go there, you swap your this thing, and then it gives out from the bottom. You pay some money, correct? No? Slowly, you don't have to use any devices, just to do some, move a hand like this. You will get, everywhere, everything will be run by a code. Like in America, for example, you go to a hotel, there is not a single person. You go, you have to put one code, then the gate opens. Even cars also, when we go, as soon as you stand in front of the gate opens. Why? Because there's a camera which is inside. If the owner wants to open the gate, they'll open. When your car goes inside, they close the gate. So everything is done by machine like that. And then you go to the room, even food also comes. Everything is arranged like that. You will see that. So you will see that people want more and more control, and they want to relax more and more. So one devotee was asking recently, if they want to do everything through machines, then what will man do? Yeah, so I said, chant HareKrishna. Correct? No? Okay, if machines are doing everything, you have free time, you chant. Yeah, okay. And then, you see, that which is not engaged in the service of the Lord is material, and nothing thus engaged should be given up. In the construction of high skyscraper and construction of a temple, there may be the same enthusiasm, but the endeavors are different. For one is material, other is spiritual. Spiritual activities should not be confused with material activities and given up. Nothing connected with Hari, Supreme Lord, is material. The devotee who considers all this is always situated in spiritual activities, and therefore is no longer attracted by material activities. Paramdashwani Vartate. So sometimes many students who are newly coming to Krishna consciousness, they think that spiritual life means we have to give up studies or we have to give up job. That's a very narrow-minded, Falgu-Vairagya understanding. A broad-minded understanding. He was a king of the world. He was being the king of the world. You can imagine how many administrative affairs will be going under him. But one's mati should be fixed on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. And everything should be done in alignment with Supreme Lord. That's what he was doing. Sayittam bhakti yogena tapoyuktena parthivaha swadharmena harim prenan sarvan kaman shanair jahav. The king of this planet, Maharaj Ambarish, has performed devotion service to the Lord, and in this endeavor practiced severe austerity, always satisfying Supreme Lord by his constitutional activities. He gradually gave up all See, material desires are never suddenly given up. They will take time to go. So one requires patience and one requires enthusiasm in spiritual life. Because, like we say, Rome was not built in a day, we say, no? So one has to be very patient. Shanai, Shanai, Kramena. These words are used in the scripture. So although he was such a powerful devotee king, even he gave up material desires. How? Gradually. He says, this is how. Because the gradual material desires cleansing happens by regulated spiritual life. Regulation is the secret. Like, for example, you try to give up sweet in Kartik, 1 week people give up, next week they will eat up double, along with compound interest. You will see that. It's very difficult. When you see others, either you become proud that I have given up sweet, or you become angry with people because you have given up sweet, they are all eating. Yeah. Or you end up eating double. So suddenly you cannot give up things. It's a gradual thing. Progress will come gradually. Always satisfying Supreme Lord by his constitutional activities. He gradually gave up mental desires. Now, Prabhupada is saying, what are those activities? Severe austerities in the practice of devotion service have many varieties. Example is deity worship, Prabhupada says. Shri Vigraharadhana Nityanana Shringara Tan Mandiramarjanado. He's saying here, one must decorate the deity, cleanse the temple, bring water from Ganges and Yamuna, continue the routine work, perform arati many times, prepare first-class food for the deity, prepare dresses, and so on. In this way, one must constantly be engaged in various activities, and the hard labor involved is certainly an austerity. Similarly, the hard labor involved in preaching, preparing books, spiritual literature, preaching to atheistic men, and distributing literature door to door is, of course, an austerity, tapoyuktena. So in this way, he says that there are two types of austerity Prabhupada is talking. One is indoor, in the temple. One is outdoor. Tapodivyam Putraka, like marathon is coming now. Going out for book distribution is an outdoor austerity. Either you do indoor austerity or outdoor austerity. If you don't do both, you'll be lazy. Correct, no? Yeah. Such austerity is necessary. Why? Yena sattvam shuddhyet. By such austerity in devotion service, one is purified of material existence. Kaman, Shanair, Jahau. This is the secret. If you steadily perform austerity day after day, month after month, year after year, then gradually the material desires will be dissolved there. Like you have seen this chandan, which you make for the summer season, for applying on the Lord's body. The stick looks very big. Can you powder it and immediately make powder? No, you have to keep on, keep on doing. You've seen people making it, and it comes little. When I first went to do chandan in temple, I thought that, why these guys are making little, we can make fast. Then I tried to do fast. No matter how fast you do, it doesn't come. Little. Similarly, these austerities you have to keep on doing, because it's not very easy to cleanse the grass and the subtle coverings. It takes time. But these are all devotional austerities. They have an added advantage. They are very enjoyable also. Like dressing the deity, like, worshipping the deity. Like when you decorate the Lord on the festival days, it's so beautiful looking. For thousands of people to come and watch. Similarly, book distribution, you get both type of experiences. So unlike the impersonalists who have to go to Himalayas and sit idle, we don't have to be idle. We have austerities to do regulated devotional service, Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, and purify our heart. I'm going to conclude now in a minute. Griheshu dareshu suteshu bandhushu Dvipottamasyandana vastushu Akshaya ratnabaranam baradishu Ananta kosheshu akarot asanmatim. So he had a griheshu, he had palaces. He had wives, he had children, relatives, he had large elephants, big golden chariots, horses, costly dresses and costly garments and ornaments, ratnabara. And he had akshaya, ananta kosheshu means imperishable, unlimited treasury he had. So, but all these things he considered asanmatim. He considered them, he had no attachment to them. He gave up all attachment to all of them, regarding them as temporary and material, he's saying. This is the principle of anasaktasya vishayan yatarham upayunjataha nirbandha krishna sambandhe. You can actually possess all these things, but not be connected to them. You should see that I am only a custodian of these things, and I will use them in Krishna service. That's called as Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhi. So this is a principle of Yukta Vairagya. You don't have to run away from the world. Be in the world, but use everything in Krishna service. That's the principle. Yeah. A devotee should not have any attachment for such material involvements as house, wife, children, friends, and cars. Maharaj Ambarish, for example, had all such things, but he was not attached to them because of his bhakti bhava. Yeah, one who is advanced in devotion service has no attachment to material things for sense enjoyment, but he uses them for preaching, to spread the glories of the Lord, he says. So in this way, being very pleased by the unalloyed devotion of Maharaj Ambarish, the Supreme Lord gave the Sudarshan Chakra, which is fearful to enemies and which always protects the devotee from enemies and adversities. Lord was so concerned about Ambarish that he is not even caring about himself. He is like an innocent child. Let me keep a chakra in his kingdom only. So Lord kept it always. And to see him protected always. Ambarish Maharaj ki, Yudhishthira Maharaj ki. So these are the two. I told you about the Maharaj Yudhishthira and Maharaj Ambarish. You can also read about Parikshit, whatever his qualities. Lord Ramachandra, needless to say, Prahlad Maharaj. As soon as Prahlad became the king of the world, what is the first thing he did? Anybody knows? He occupied the throne. Brahma coronated him on the order of Lord Narasimha. And he was made to sit on the throne and the crown was put. What is the next thing he did immediately? He told the ministers, I am going to go on a tour. Where? He said, I am going to go to Rishabh Hills. He went, which is close to Melikotai. So there he met one Avadut Brahman, saintly person. And he spent a considerable time with his ministers, sitting with him and asking questions about spiritual life. And the Avadut Brahmana speaks very beautifully in Sound Canto. And he thought, Prahlad thought that I'm becoming a king. I need the blueprint on how to act as an ideal king. So that means a king should be very eager to learn. Not only king. King in the modern time, king means anybody who is in a leading role, like parents are in a leading role. Teachers are in a leading role. Brahmacharis, sannyasis, they are all in leading role. So we all need someone to guide us. How we should conduct ourselves and also how we should administer the good for the other people. So that's what he did. He was in a learning mode. One who is always in a learning mode will always be in a growing mode also. One who says, I know it all, that is his syndrome. He will be a muff. He will not know anything. One should always be open-minded to learn more. Prahlad Maharaj knew everything. In fact, he told his father what he learned from Narada, correct, no? Still he went to learn after he became the king. The leaders of the government must be very honest and religious because otherwise all the affairs of the state will suffer in the name of democracy, rogues and thieves, like the Prabhupada is saying. Prabhupada is finally saying, don't vote for anyone who is not Krishna conscious, he's saying. He's saying, when a Vaishnava sees mismanagement in the government, he feels great compassion in his heart and tries his best to purify the situation by spreading HareKrishna movement. In this way, so in this purport, Prabhupada, I just highlighted the important ones so that we can discuss them. We discussed elaborately today about the saintly qualities of spiritual leaders. That's what I devoted time of Ambarish Maharaj and Yudhishthira Maharaj. So why did we discuss that? Because Prabhupada says here, the Vishnu Dutas are saying to Yamadutas, that you people do not know who is punishable, who is not punishable, what is the power of the holy name. Here is a person who is calling out the Lord's name helplessly. He is not under Yama's jurisdiction. He is under whose jurisdiction now? Lord Vishnu's jurisdiction now. He is moved from Yama's jurisdiction to Vishnu's jurisdiction now. He is no more in your custody. You have no right to touch him. You cannot punish him. Like that they are saying. He has been... it's like, for example, somebody is in the jail, police can beat him. But now somebody is out of the jail, it's over. How can you beat him? So like that, he is now out from your hands. You can't touch him now. That's what they said. And they will tell more in the future verses. But Prabhupada's purports are very important. You can see that some people read only translations of Bhagavatam in order to complete the Bhagavatam. Then what happens? You may know Bhagavatam stories, but you will not know mood and mission of Prabhupada. Where is mood and mission of Prabhupada hidden? In Bhaktivedanta purports. Srila Prabhupada ki Kantar Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki.